All right, so today we're diving into a story that's really rocking the world of country music. Garth Brooks hit with some very serious accusations.
Yeah, and this is a big one. I mean, we're talking about sexual assault, we're talking about battery.
This is a name synonymous with country music. I mean, when you think wholesome country charm, you think Garth Brooks.
Absolutely, family man.
And the source here, this is a CNN article that dropped just a couple of days ago. It's a bombshell for sure. Now the accusations are coming from a woman who's only identified as Jane Roe in the lawsuit, which, is pretty standard to protect her identity. But here's the thing. This isn't just some random fan. This is a woman who worked for Garth Brooks, as well as his wife, Trisha Yearwood, as a hair and makeup artist.
And she worked with him for a long time. I mean, according to the lawsuit, she started working with Trisha Yearwood way back in 1999. And then she started working directly with Brooks around 2017.
Okay, so you're talking almost 2 decades. And yet the alleged incidents mentioned in the lawsuit, they allegedly happened in 2019. So why come forward now? It's been 5 years.
It's a question a lot of people are asking. And it's something that Brooks's legal team is no doubt going to focus on. But, before we get into any of that, we really need to unpack these accusations because this isn't just about one single incident.
Yeah, it's important to kind of lay the groundwork here. And we're talking about multiple allegations. And frankly, they paint a very disturbing picture.
Yeah, and what we're seeing is a pattern of behavior. The lawsuit alleges Brooks repeatedly exposed himself to Roe, that he engaged in these inappropriate conversations, shared sexually explicit fantasies with her, even changed clothes in front of her, and on top of that, sent her sexually explicit text messages as well.
Okay, so we're talking about a lot here, and it gets worse. There are two specific incidents from 2019 that really form the core of this lawsuit.
Yeah, the first one allegedly happened at Brooks's home. Roe claims that he came out of the shower completely naked, grabbed her hands, and forced them onto his genitals.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's something that would definitely be burned into your memory. And then the other incident allegedly occurred during a work trip to LA for a Grammy tribute performance.
Yeah, this one is really serious. Roe alleges that Brooks actually raped her in a hotel room during that trip. They flew to L.A. on his private jet, just the two of them. And when they got to the hotel, it turned out that he had only booked a single suite. She says that he then appeared naked in the bedroom doorway, and she felt trapped.
Wow. You mentioned earlier that Brooks's team is really going to focus on the timing of all this, but he didn't just deny the allegations.
Yeah, he came out with guns blazing, pretty much. I mean, Brooks is calling his whole thing a lie, saying that Roe is just trying to extort money from him, millions of dollars.
And he didn't stop there. He's filed a lawsuit of his own.
Yeah, he went full John Doe to keep his name out of it, at least initially, and sued her preemptively, basically trying to block her from going public. He's claiming that she's just trying to trash his career, his reputation, and it kind of feels like he's just making things worse.
It's a mess. It's a legal chess match now. Brooks is painting this picture of a disgruntled employee, right? Someone who's just trying to get revenge, wants a big payday. And in fact, his lawsuit claims that she only started making these allegations after he turned down her request to be put on salary, with benefits.
Which, yeah, if that turns out to be true, it's not a good look. But Roe's lawyer is denying that claim, saying that there was no hush money offered and calling Brooks out, saying that it's just not true. So at this point, who knows, right? You kind of have to go with who you believe.
This is a classic he said, she said. But there's a lot at stake here. I mean, this isn't just about one man's reputation or one woman's accusations, This case, it could have ripple effects throughout the country music industry.
Totally. And Roe's lawyers know that too, right? They're making a point to draw a parallel between this case and what we've seen in other industries, with powerful figures being held accountable for their actions in the wake of the #MeToo movement.
Yeah, they're saying this isn't just a Hollywood thing.
Exactly. This is a country music problem too.
And they're not wrong. I mean, Brooks, he's an icon, especially in Nashville. If he is found guilty of this, I mean, this would be huge. And you have to think, how many other people might this encourage to come forward?
Yeah, this is a bomb being dropped right in the middle of Music Row. We don't even know how big the blast radius is going to be. It really makes you think back to the way #MeToo shook up Hollywood. Could we be looking at the same thing in Nashville?
Yeah, and I think it goes beyond just accusations and lawsuits here. It's about the power dynamics at play in these industries. I mean, Garth Brooks, with his fame, his fortune, we're talking immense power.
Absolutely. And that is what makes these types of cases so difficult. It takes a lot of courage to accuse someone like Brooks, someone with that level of power. And you do open yourself up to a lot of scrutiny when you do that.
And, we can't forget about Trisha Yearwood in all of this. I mean, we're talking about her husband, but then the accusations are coming from someone that she also worked with very closely for years.
Right. It's got to be tough.
So you have to think, like, what is this doing to their relationship? What is this doing to her career? It's crazy.
It's uncharted territory in a lot of ways.
Right.
I mean, we've seen these kind of allegations affect Hollywood couples and their careers, but this feels different.
It does.
Brooks and Yearwood, their whole thing, right? I mean, they've built this brand as this perfect country music couple. If that image is shattered, what happens to their empire? What happens to everything they've built?
Right, and it just makes you wonder, too, will this make other victims, whether it's in country music or other industries, will it make them think twice before coming forward? Or could this be the thing that empowers them, knowing they might actually be heard?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, right? There's no real answer to that. These cases, they can swing the pendulum in either direction.
Yeah.
But one thing that is for sure, this case really highlights just how important it is to believe people who come forward with these kinds of accusations. I mean, we have to remember that behind the fame and the fortune, these are real people with real lives who are dealing with real struggles.
Yeah, it makes you realize that what you see publicly, the persona that someone projects, it's not always the reality.
Right.
And it's easy to put people up on a pedestal, especially when we admire their work. But, it's a good reminder to be cautious about that.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, none of us knows what really goes on in someone else's life. We can't jump to conclusions about anyone's guilt or innocence. But we also can't ignore the very real impact that these allegations have on everyone involved.
A lot to think about, for sure. So where do we go from here? Well, the legal battle's just getting started, right? So we'll definitely be following that closely, keeping you updated. But, more broadly, this deep dive, it's really sparked some important conversations, I think, about power, about accountability, and about just how important it is to listen to and believe those who do come forward.
Well said. And to all of you listening, please stay informed, keep asking questions, engage in those crucial conversations, because every voice matters in this. We all have a role to play when it comes to truth and justice.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I know.
And on that note, we'll wrap things up for today. Until next time, thanks for listening.